Hey folks, it's Owen here again with another battle report. It's been a bit, I think it's been about 3 weeks since my last report. It's been on the back burner for a while with me working on the gash, who was taking ages to do because I put them together. So if you're watching YouTube, the uh, Games Workshop YouTube videos, do exactly what Duncan says and don't put it together in one go. Put it into separate parts and paint it like that because it's way easier, or at least it looks way easier. Then of course we have the Glockin, which was released last weekend. I got that kit and put it together, and it's a really cool kit. It's a bigger single kind of model rather than the gash's bits flying all over the place, so that'll be easier to paint. It will take just as long though because there's an insane amount of detail on that model. Plus the two other brothers, who look great models in their own right, will need to be magnetised because they really should be used in other games too. And then I suppose we have the dwarves that I was finishing off. So, well, finishing off with one unit. I still have plenty of that to do. So my battle report's gotten lost in the shuffle, unfortunately. But I'm back in again and going to finish off this one and then hopefully get another one out then at the end of the week, and then maybe one the week after. So good to go anyway. So on to the battle report. So, rolled up Dawn Attack against my old friend Dave with his Dark Elves. This is the first game we actually used with the new rules, the End of Times 50% Lords and Characters rules. Characters and heroes, whatever. It's pretty much the same list as usual, but I just stuck in a level 4 mage because I was able to. So, it's pretty cool being able to do that. And for no apparent reason, I just decided to pop my spells in here as well. So I suppose I got pretty much what you want when you're a high elf. You want yourself Fire Convocation and a Glory, Walk Between Worlds, and Arcane Fortune. So nice one, good to go. So Dawn Attack and the Dark Elf setup gives them this, which is great because I love the random stuff in Dawn Attack. It's great fun. So 5 Dark Riders pop over there on the left hand side with shields. Good stuff from him. Hydra with Flame Breath is just in front of a bow thrower there in the centre. And then we have 9 Doomfire Warlocks who have the Sorceress level 4 in there, and she's got Dark Magic and a Talisman of Preservation. And then the middle and the right we have 20 Bleak Swords, full command. They're just nice little unit to have there. 20 Bleak Swords going to a building, whatever. He stuck a BSB in there as well. He's got full armour, Sea Dragon Cloak, and a shield, so easy fucking access to high saves for him. 5 more Dark Riders in the front there with shields, and 5 more there on the right hand side as well. Then he's got 20 repeater crossbowmen who've got a standard bearer and the banner of eternal flame because they're allowed to take that because they're very lucky. Another bolt thrower on the hill. 2 more hydras then with flame breath in the centre, so lots of stuff there. And then the dreaded Dreadlord, who is on a big black dragon. And he's got, as far as I remember, and this is all from memory really, he's got heavy armour, enchanted shield, sea dragon cloak, cloak of twilight, a choppy type of sword, and possibly a dawnstone. I'm not too sure. I'd say he does. If I can remember, I think he does. So he's pretty nasty. Also, the Black Dragon has a flame breath, but I think he comes with that anyway. But that plays a part later on as well. Lots of flame breaths going on here, which is pretty shit for me. But that's okay. And then the high elf setup. So over on the right hand side we have bow thrower, and then in the centre we have another bow thrower. So this is pretty cool. I love high elves and I love this army. Just adding some more points to it, which is mainly just a unit of spearmen there on the left hand side who've got the banner of flame and full command, and then they have a noble in there as well. And then I get to have a level 4 on the other slide as well, so it's deadly. I have my usual anointed there in the centre who's got the ogre blade, enchanted shield, the golden crown, and he is on a flame spire. And on to the next slide. Then over on the left hand side, and this is actually after the Dark Elves had moved, I just forgot to take a picture. 5 Reavers, Bows and Spears Musician, 5 Reavers, Bows and Spears Musician, 23 Phoenix Guard, Banner of World Dragon, which I kind of hated giving. I hate giving that item to units. It's just such a pain in the hole for everyone because everyone hates it so much. But it's the miscast protection. It's not the fucking magical attacks. It's the miscast protection that is absolutely incredible. I don't give a fuck about anything else. I mean, it's just the miscast protection is incredible. Then we have an Archmage who's level 4. He's got the Spell Scroll and a Talisman of Endurance because he's on High Magic. So I actually forgot to put that in. He's on High Magic, so I mean I'm probably going to get 1 spell off a turn. So he'll have a 4+ pretty much all the time, and then the Phoenix Guard will have a 3+ pretty much all the time. So that's pretty cool for me. Both throwers are sandwiched in between 2 units, and then we have Frostheart Phoenix just behind 18 archers who have full command because of extra points, and I wanted to use all the painted models and bases and stuff, so it's pretty nice looking. So on to Dark Elf turn 1, and as you see from the last slide, the Hydra snuck up there behind the building, so I'm not able to shoot it or charge it. Dark Riders moved up as well, and then I think the Sorceress and her friends moved up a small bit, but I don't think it was by much. Bleak Swords popped up there as well. Oh, Then moving on to the right hand side, two Hydras move up just behind the building there, probably going to get off some charges in the next turn. Crossbowmen on the right hand side just wheel slightly and move forward a bit. I'm not too sure if they were in range. And then the two Dark Riders also move forward just to kind of threaten my lines and get some shots off as well, because their repeater crossbows are pretty lethal. They're a pretty lethal unit altogether. And then the Dragon Rider moved over slightly and turned that direction. I'm not sure why. I've actually no idea what he did. He just moved it over there and didn't do too much with it. And on to the magic phase for the Dark Elves, which was... How many dice did he use? I'm not sure. I think it was 4 dice he cast Doombolt with the Warlocks onto these guys. So, nothing I could do. Went off with a miscast. Only did 4 wounds. Luckily enough for me. And the miscast wasn't too bad for him. It is Warlocks after all. And he only lost himself 2 Warlocks, which I suppose is more than you'd usually expect. It's usually only 1. He rolled a 3, 2 failed the ward save, so 2 gone. So that's good for me. Then on the left hand side, the Dark Riders open up with their repeater crossbows and kill 2 Reavers, who hold. And that was it. On to turn 1 for the High Elves, not turn 2. So turn 1 High Elves, my 2 Reaver units decided to charge into these Dark Riders on the left hand side. There's no point chaffing up this Hydra in the middle, because I don't think he can't really see or charge anything right now. There's a bow throw down the bottom, but I think it's too far to charge that anyway, so I might as well send these 2 guys over here, and if he wants to charge over here and get out of the way, that's fine. Send them off over there as well. The Reavers the Reavers are there just to chaff stuff up. So if they kill stuff and cause a nuisance, that's what they're meant to do. Then the rest of the stuff we have here, Phoenix Guard make a charge on the Warlocks who flee. So we go forward. We go forward 6 actually, so it's not that bad. They fire away. Also, my Spearmen they charge at the Dark Riders who are in front of them. They also flee. They don't go as far. I think it went 3 or 4. So, but at least that gets them out of the way. I mean, they can rally and move because they're fast cav, but still, it's nice to do something like that. And then the right hand side, I uncover a bolt thrower which I forgot I had, and which I now realise I did have. So I have 4 bolt throwers. So my Prince goes across to the left hand side and just opens up a bit more of an arc to whatever is going to come down here, because there's a couple of Hydras. Maybe the Bleak Swords might come down, the General might come down. So I mean, there's a lot of options there for me, rather than flying to the side and getting shot by a lot of shots. So let's just leave it there. So magic phase, and fiery convocation goes off on the Bleak Swords, which does plenty of damage. As far as I can remember, I think I had a couple of extra dice from Dave, and I kept 2 dice in reserve through 4. He had 4, so he said, I'll chance it, and he didn't make it, so off it goes. He has a Dispel Scroll as well, so yeah, I probably should have used the Dispel Scroll, but anyway, it goes off for me, spell cast, and good result. And a couple of dice left, he'd nothing left to dispel with, so I just threw a Hand of Glory on these guys as well. So I went to the shooting phase, and now I do only show 4 of these guys getting killed. Actually, we kill the entire unit eventually, but it takes all our bolt throwers to do it, and well, I think it was worthwhile getting rid of these guys, because I mean, Dark Riders are a really tough unit, but it took up a lot of shots, but good news there. Then over to the combat on the left hand side, fast cav versus fast cav is fast deaths for loads of guys. So I lose 3, he loses 2. I had the charge, and I had no banner actually, so I had the charge. I think I won by 1, yeah, I should have won by 1. Anyway, he held, so it doesn't really matter. So on to Dark Elf turn 2, and here is where I think Dave made the big mistake. He really wanted to get over there and puke his Dragon Breath all over the Phoenix Guard. I'm not sure why. I mean, they're doing nothing. They're not dangerous really right now. They're a dangerous unit, but they're not dangerous right now. So anyway, he decides to fly his dragon over there, rallies the warlocks, so they go in front of these guys. I don't think they needed to go that close either. But anyway, that's what they did. Then the Hydra pulls out behind the building, comes over on the left-hand side, so he's looking to get a nice charge off there, so he can maybe overrun into probably the archers on the right hand side there, or something else, maybe the Phoenix or something, because Hydras are pretty nasty. But anyway, that's what it is. Then over on the kind of right hand side, the two Hydras declare a charge on the Spearman. I say, fuck it, there's no point running away. It's just going to be a mess if I do, so I'll just let them take it. I mean, that's what those guys are there for, cheap and cheerful. Well, they won't be cheerful after this. But anyway, that's what they do. So two Hydras go into those guys, and I don't know why I have a red arrow on those guys, because they only moved up. It should be blue. But the archers up top move up as well. So Dave fails to get rid of Fiery Convocation. I think he tried to cast a spell at me and failed. So it goes off and just wipes the rest of the unit out. There's two guys left and a BSB. So on to the shooting phase for the Dark Elves, and Puke Breath, Fiery Breath as it is for the Dragon. So he fires at these guys, and to be honest, it was a waste of time. I know it kills 4. But that's because I didn't save very well. I mean, I had a 3+ ward save in these guys because of me casting a spell in the last turn. So me losing 4 is actually pretty bad for me. They should be alive, especially after saving. But I suppose the whole unit was hit. Strength 4, so we had a 6+ and then a 3+. So yeah, 4 is dead. So what? Back over to this side, and one unit of Reavers is toast, but the other unit of Reavers is still alive, and they managed to get rid of 2 more Dark Riders. This lone guy holds them up though, so that's good for them. And then onto the combat with the Hydras and the Spearmen, which is obviously going to be one-sided, but I'm incredibly amazed that the Spearmen are still alive, seeing as they threw 2 Thunderstomps. I think they have 7 attacks each, 14 attacks. Then 2 Flame Breaths, and they're still there. And I have a rank, and they pass through Steadfast, which is just ridiculous. So good stuff, Spearman, for holding these guys up for a turn. And then High Elf turn 2. And what was I to say? But my birds got very excited when they seen the Black Dragon coming into their midst, and said, "We're going to have a piece of that Black Dragon." So charge is what happened, and charge is where they go. So they both went to the side of this guy, and you can hardly say no. I mean, he's just sitting there on his own. It's just, why not? I mean, you have to have a battle. This is the way to do it. Meanwhile, the other charge, then we have my Phoenix Guard recharging the Doomfire Warlocks, who run away again, and we still don't catch them, even though we're right beside the fuckers. Jesus, no use. But anyway, it looks like good stuff for me. So just to get a bit of ward saving, my guys, I decided to cast a Warp Between Worlds on my bow thrower, which also gets it out of the way of the Hydra, which is quite nice. So we send it over there and get +1 ward save. Great. And Fiery Convocation gets rid of the rest of these clowns. I think we got a wound on your man, the BSB, as well. Everybody wounded, nobody saved. He died as well, so great stuff. They're all gone. So both throwers open up on the crossbowmen as well, kill 5, and then they proceed to fail their panic test and run away. So everyone's just collapsing here for the Dark Elves. So on to the main combat, and we actually do 0 wounds to himself and the dragon, which is brutal. He managed to do 1 wound on my Phoenix, which is just as brutal. So we win by 1 because we've charged in a flank, and he has 1 wound, and then he takes his panic test. Or should I say break test, and he fails. So yeah, we're absolutely going to try and catch him, and my general does. So Lord is dead, and that's just fantastic. Game is going to swing completely in my favour now. Back on the left hand side, the Reavers get rid of the final Dark Rider, so they're good to go and they can go somewhere else. And then the Hydras do their job. So my BSB is toast, and the rest of the unit is gone as well. But hey, what can you do? They held them up for a turn, so what? So Dark Elf turn 3. So Hydra number 1 declares a charge on my archers, who test for terror and fail, and then re-roll again, not because the BSB is there because he's dead, but because we can, because we're high elves, we get to re-roll our panic test. That's great, but we still panic. So we run away. I think we get 1 or 2, and the Hydra gets a really high roll and eats everybody before we get to go away. So well done, Hydra, you've just devoured my entire archer unit. Hydra here then charges the bolt thrower, sets themselves up nicely as well for an overrun into the other bolt thrower, so he should be able to get his hands on a few of those next turn. And no other movement here as much as I remember. The Warlocks rallied again and then ran around the side here just to throw some magic at my guys. I'm not too sure what else happened here really, it doesn't look like it happened anyway. So Dark Elf magic phase I think I weathered. So Dark Elf shooting phase was then Hydra doing his breath attack all over my guys. And again, because of the ward saves that these guys have, I mean, it's not really going to make a difference. So we already got rid of 2 guys. So we still have plenty of Phoenix Guard left. Over to combat phase, and exactly what happened here was that he killed the bolt thrower, but he did not overrun far enough to get into these guys. So they'll have one more chance to take a shot at them. I won't be able to kill him, of course, but we can take a shot and do some damage. So high elf turn 3, and we were kind of in mop-up mode at this stage, and we needed to get ourselves back into position to get into a couple of units and get rid of them. So Phoenix Guard reformed looking at the Hydra. I went for him rather than either the black, or not the Black Knights, the Dark Riders at the top, or the Warlocks on the right, because simply that they can just disappear out of my sight and I'll never catch them. Whereas the Hydra from here, even if he turns and moves his 6 inches, I'll still be able to see him no matter where he goes. Then I put the Frost Phoenix in the back just so I'll have him there. He'll be able to see whoever comes along, and even if they do put the riders around there, I might be able to get into them as well. And then we have the Flame Phoenix who flies over the Warlocks and drops a few of his poison shots down, which we'll see what happens right now. And he kills 2 of them, which is pretty good. I rolled 6, as you can see there, just at the edge. So I got myself 2 dead Warlocks, and then he takes a panic check. And panic they do, and off they go again. These guys have been running around, which is good news for me really, because he's in a nice position there now for me. My bolt thrower on the left hand side to take a couple of shots. Meanwhile, there's a magic phase, and just to simply get this thing off and get an extra plus onto my ward save, I threw a couple of dice at Hand of Glory, which resulted in me getting a miscast, adding +3 onto my, I think I chose weapon skill or something like that, it didn't really matter. But I rolled an 11 and I lost 2 levels, which included the Hand of Glory and another spell, I don't know what it was. Then Bolt Thrower on the left then opens up, but only managed to kill 1 more person. I'm not sure how many shots I got. I think I got, it was 3, 4. I think I might have got 3 through, and I think we just forgot to randomize, and we just got rid of this person instead. So that's just how it is. Still has his witchy lady left. So then it was onto the Dark Elves, and all he did really was reform, and then just await my units to crash into his other Hydra pretty much. Meanwhile, this Hydra goes and batters into this guy after, which I didn't get a picture of the last turn. We got 2 wounds off him the last turn. But anyway, he's eaten the bolt thrower, so good stuff from him. And so straight on to High Elves turn 4. So we charged here. Phoenix Guard went in the front and Frost Phoenix went in the side. It happened to be the side now because he had moved his Hydra in a certain way that I wouldn't get a rear charge. So he just wanted to kind of minimize the break checks he might have to take. I should be able to kill him, but you never know. You never know. He might just thunderstomp my guys, kill 6. Maybe use his attacks to kill the Phoenix. It could be all sorts of stuff happening here. So I think it was kind of a good move from Dave. But yeah, it should be good combat. And then the Reavers, who were long forgotten, were over here, managed to avoid all the bolt thrower shots and then got into combat, which is great stuff. On to the magic phase then, and we just cast a walk between worlds on this bolt thrower just to move it up again, just to threaten his Dark Riders who are over there, so they'll have to move, and threaten his Sorceress. If she does reform, she'll have to move away as well, and to get +1 onto my ward save, so hopefully we'll be able to survive the Hydra. So good stuff. First combat then we do the Reavers, and they managed to kill only 1 Dark Elf, who kills 2 of me in return. So stalemate there, that's not great stuff. And then onto the main combat, and the Hydra gets killed, and I don't lose anybody at all, so that's fantastic stuff. And that's the end of the game. After that, Dave just kind of threw in the towel, said, "Listen, there's no point keep going on here. It's getting late. Let's just pack it up, have a bit of a laugh for the next few minutes, and then head off." So fair enough, good stuff. So again, thanks for the game, Dave, and it was a high elf victory for 20-0. Once we got rid of the Dreadlord, I think pretty much everything else was okay, and we were able to handle the Dark Riders that were held. Once we got rid of those, it was good. He didn't use the other Dark Riders too much, and once we got rid of the Warlocks who kept fleeing and rallying and stuff like that, they didn't really cause us too much problems, which was pretty cool. I must say I really am enjoying using these flyers and the general on his Phoenix, even though he has gotten killed once before. So what? I mean, who cares? It's just a lot of fun using flying stuff. It's a different tactic as well, because you really have to kind of think and move ahead of where you can possibly see somebody going, or where you're trying to funnel them to. But anyway, yeah, it was a really good game, a lot of fun, and hopefully the next one will be up in the next few days, because I have it left over from a couple of weeks ago and I don't want to get my memory too hazy. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you enjoy this one. So thanks very much, and see you again.